welcome everyone to the I'm Possible radio / Facebook Live show. And this is episode 24. And we're going to be talking about this little old masterclass. This was actually Mia's naming for it because I think it was so phenomenal. I said, write that down. And we're going to talk about the 4-figure framework, how we made over 4 figures in less than 7 days with basically very little ad spend. And I think it's an important thing that all of you should have. If you're listening to this right now, if you don't have this in your business or the thought of doing a low ticket or micro offer masterclass, you're missing out. So I think without further ado, I'm going to give the voice over to Mia just to kind of, and we have Ashley Nellett and Sally Savasco, Mia, Elise. We are part of the I Am Possible marketing team. We actually bring together more than like a decade, actually probably 40 years between the 4 of us of internet marketing experience. We've been behind the scenes of multi-million-dollar launches and responsible for individually within ourselves, our own successful launches. And we're wanting to talk more behind the scenes, also mistakes made. That is real. And we're just being real as an entrepreneurs, and also to let you all know that you can be perfectly imperfect and still, make profits with this. So, Mia, kind of tell someone who's listening right now why you thought of this little masterclass as the title, because I just thought
it's actually the little masterclass that could.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Go for it. See, perfectly perfect. I didn't have the name right.
I'm looking at the little masterclass that could. I'm looking at my board here. I have it written down.
Cool.
The little masterclass that could, because it was $19.95. And what we were selling was so much value, like far more than $20 worth of value. But we decided to play with the price points a little bit and see what would convert the best for us. And so we thought $19.95. Most people do something that ends in a 7. So like 17 or 27 or 37 or 97 or whatever. But sometimes it's just fun to buck the system and see what else you can do that will sell. So we decided on $19.95 and we did an $11 order bump. So a really easy commitment. And in the beginning, we were getting some good organic sales, and true to all things that we talk about, launch and everything. The very first day we launched this to our list, this offer to our list, we made about $500. So $500 in $19.95 sales, right? That's quite a few sales.
All to one.
What was that?
So all from our email list too.
All from our email list. Yeah. So we sent out an email and we said, hey, we're doing this thing. Now, granted, it was something that a lot of people were asking for. So that's, I think, the first lesson in when you're creating these master classes is that it ought to be something that your audience is asking for you to do. So it was something that people were requesting for us, which was high ticket. How do we go from our micro offers into high ticket? So we created this masterclass, the high ticket toolkit, but it was so much more than a masterclass because there were resources and tools that people could use today to actually get to an end result. So that was it was more than just a masterclass that people showed up to. It was resources, spreadsheets, calculators. Like we pooled our collective knowledge and created this really freaking awesome toolkit. And then, so after the first day, we started to run some ads and we hit a little bit of a dry desert. We would get about 5 sales here and there each day. But the last day, guys, we sent out how many emails, Maria? 2 or 3?
We decided just on 2. I was going to do 3 and then I thought, let's just do 2.
Yeah. So we're teaching this masterclass live at 7 p.m. Eastern. And on the last day, we sent out 2 emails and we said, hey, it's going to be $297 the next time you see this. At 7 p.m., it goes from $19.95 to $297. And true to our word, it did. Mm-hmm. The timer shifted and it redirected to the $297 sales page. So in the last day, what did we sell? Like almost
1,000?
I would say like $1,500 to $1,700.
I think it was $1,700 US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. That's almost
Multiple
50%, right, of the total?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the last day, we sold quite a few little master classes, and Maria and I were sitting in the sitting online, like just looking at the numbers going, are we going to hit 3,000? And we did, just barely over. We hit 3,000. We hit that number, which was, and for some people who are listening to this, you might think, oh, that's not a whole lot of money, but imagine our list is small. We have about 2,000 people on our list. Imagine if you had 10,000 people on your list and you sold something like this every month. What if you created something similar for your audience to buy that's snackable, an easy yes, and gives them so much value? What if you did that every single month or every other month or something like that? Could you use an extra $3,000 influx in cash in your business? Could you use an extra $5,000? So don't poo-poo what you think might be a small number. $3,000 off of a $19.95 product is pretty good.
Yeah. And what was interesting about it too is what is in this particular high ticket toolkit is what we called it, which is one of the mistakes. We had a wrong name for it because
we're going to rename that.
The reason we didn't spend much ad spend on it, because when I actually started the ads, like the conversions weren't as good. Like I think I calculated it was about 3%, but it was a very tough manual calculation. And that's industry norm. 2 to 3% to cold traffic is good. But for us, we're used to, especially for a under $20 offer, it should be like between 5 and 7%. And as Ashley, you're the best to talk about that. 1% difference can make a huge difference.
Huge. I was on mute. Very huge difference. It's the difference. I mean, and at $20,000 ad spend, it's a difference in tens of thousands of dollars in some cases.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel was the feeling when you started the ads and you kind of saw, oh my God, the cost per purchases are really high. Like what were your thoughts?
So initially, I mean, you look at all the metrics and what's performing and what's not performing. And in this case, we were actually looking at comments also, because we were getting comments on the ads, people feeling disconnected from the messaging. They're getting to the sales page and they're like, what are you really selling here? So when we were looking at it, we realized that there was a disconnect in the message from us saying high ticket offers, when really it's just like the next step in your customer journey is kind of what we figured out, because we're educating and talking so much about micro offers and building your buyers list. And then this was kind of like the what's next. And when you say high ticket offer, people generally think anything over, I think we even agree $2,000, right? So for us to say, a high ticket offer, for us, it was just like kind of what's next in your customer journey. Like the masterclass itself was part of like what we would consider the next step in your customer journey after building a buyer's list. So I think it was us just not clearly defining what we were going to be talking about was the biggest thing.
Yeah. And then I kind of tabulated the 4-figure framework as we were talking, by the way. So I don't know how well people can see that.
Love it.
Yes, I got new Sharpies from Michael's. It's an art store here, so nice purple and gold. So anyway, Ashley, don't get mad. They're not in all our colors. I should have had that as green instead of purple. But anyway, but basically 4-figure framework. I was just saying really fast, and then I'd love for Sally to talk a little bit about customer service on this as well. But if you're listening to this right now, and please ask any questions. We invited our list to come to this live. If you're live, enter live or replay below. And please ask questions about this, because this is so important for your own value and helping you make more profits with all the hard work you're doing to build up your list, right? It's a perfect way to monetize your list. So the 4-figure framework, the first part starts with desire. So the reason why there's a D there for desire is we noticed that, as Ashley mentioned, it was the perfect next step for our customer journey. People were asking for this from us. So I want you all to think about what you're offering, and when people start buying stuff from you, like what do you think is their next step? Like what's it's otherwise known as value ladder too. Like how do you bring them along and continually help your ideal customer? And then the next step is pretty obvious: action. Like just take action on it. like Mia, Sally, and Ashley will know that we sometimes whip together a sales page or an idea so fast, but also you have to have some measured focus about it. But if we hadn't take action, I know it's so obvious, we wouldn't have made any sales. Answer yes below, and also Mia, Ashley, Sally, maybe this has happened to you in your lives. Is you might have people ask you for something and think it's a good idea, but how many times have you just kind of put it into the ideas virtual pile, right? So
Yeah, all the time.
yeah. So, and then the next part, and Ashley or Mia mentioned it, scarcity. Like I think what helped tremendously is having that fact that this was a timer on it, and it was a true timer. If they didn't buy it, it went to $297. Now I'll have Sally address that customer service stuff, but let me just enter the fourth. The fourth thing was snackable,
Mm.
and meaning Mia brought this up earlier that it's got to be a snackable product. At first I had simple, so it you know, DAS, if that's a word, DASS is the four-figure framework here, DAS, but basically snackable. And we believe nowadays snackable is the perfect thing. People are too scared sometimes to spend too much money when they don't know you as well. So if they just bought in our customer journey something for $27, well, sure, we very well will have $1,000 or $1,500 offers or higher, $15,000 offers, but the perfect step for probably more than 80% of our list is another low ticket offer and stuff. So Sally, I want to come back to the scarcity part. Talk about your experience and why we had to reopen for a day, which actually brought in an extra $500, right? So go ahead, Sally.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We had a couple of tech gremlins nibbling at us when we did this because we decided at the last minute that we should give it a shot to try PayPal. And of course, some people couldn't get in, some people didn't get access, some people tried to pay and it didn't work right. We had some hiccups. So we said, okay, to be fair, people were trying, and it was our fault that they couldn't get in technically. And I mean that literally. So we decided to extend it another day. Yeah. And we pulled in an extra $500. But, one of the things that I love about what we four do together is we make really great decisions about our customers' journey and their experience. And if we can accommodate, we want to be real about what we say the deadlines are, because we shut it down or whatever. But we also want to be really aware of, okay, what's fair? Is it fair to give them another day because we had some issues? So we did, and it worked out very well. And I think overall we get a lot of great feedback from that because people love that we take care of them. We've got their back.
Yeah, for sure.
And the PayPal thing, it was extra customer service. I won't lie to you. I did have to go in and do a lot of dances and figure it out. And Mia caused Mia some extra work. And, we were kind of juggling it around, trying to get it all squared away. And I don't know if we've decided yet whether we're going to continue to do it or add it to more things, or if we're just going to forget about it. But it is something we're still kind of, I think, on the fence about. Is that right, Mia? We've got a little more time to see if it's going to work itself out.
Yeah, we're going to give it to the end of this week and see how it goes, how many customer service nightmares it creates. But now typically, and I even said this to somebody else, that reopening is sometimes a marketing tactic. In this case, it really was not a marketing tactic. We had no intention of reopening for one more day, but we did get a slew of customer service emails saying, I tried to get in before the deadline. I couldn't pay with your PayPal thing, and because we did do something new, that caused an issue. So we did open it up for one more day, but that resulted in another $500 in sales for us. So whether people were feeling some FOMO for missing out on it, or if if that many people really were having difficulty getting in, we don't know. But that's another good marketing tactic, is to reopen for one more day. Sometimes it's the next day, and sometimes it's the following weekend or whatever that is, to just reopen the doors. And we teach that sometimes in a launch. If you're not getting the results that you want, to reopen the doors. In our case, it wasn't a marketing tactic. It really was strictly customer service related because we really did want to increase the price, and we have now. So.
Yeah. And the other thing also, we wanted to test it on our stuff before client stuff, this whole new PayPal integration with ClickFunnels. Because a year ago, we would say no all the time to clients, no PayPal, because it's such a customer service issue. Whereas now there's some extra stuff. We have a lot of great questions that have come up. And I think, is there anything else any of you want to add before answering some questions? I know we can talk about the 5 mistakes, but I think it'd be cool to start answering questions right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Maria Jones is asking, can you look at Facebook groups which are very similar to your audience and validate your idea there, as my audience is still growing? And Maria, you're doing fantastic, by the way, in your micro offer. Thank you for sharing your success in our I Am Possible group. If anyone needs to, if you're watching this right now and you're not in our Facebook group, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, head on over to www.iampossibletribe.com, and that'll take you right to our Facebook group to join for free. Sally, why don't you address because since you're the Facebook group, the social media expert, why don't you address that?
Address our group, or?
Can you look, Maria's question, can you look at Facebook groups which are very similar to your audience and validate your idea there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, definitely. You have seen us evolve, probably, if you've been with us for a little while, with some of the things that we've been doing. We definitely test out some ideas with you guys. Like, you see Maria going live, talking to you about a few different things, and then we get some feedback, and then we put a product together, of course. I mean, it's absolutely tested out with your group. No doubt about it.
Yeah. And I think she's saying with other groups. So the way that you do that, because not all groups really appreciate you going in and like self-promoting, but the way that I've seen it done is that people go in and say, hey, I have this idea. I want to create this X, Y, and Z. What do you think? Tell me if this is something you would buy. And then in the comments, you can say like, DM me if you want access, or DM me if you want me to send you the link when it's ready, or whatever it is. So if it's not something you've created just yet, you can definitely validate whether the idea is good inside of other Facebook groups by like doing a post of, hey, help a sister out, or something like that. And if it's already created and you want to try and sell it in these groups, that would be kind of like the backdoor way of doing that.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing is there are a lot of groups that do what we call share days. I utilize that a lot. And I'll tell you, it does drive traffic, because if you find groups that are in your similar niche, most of them I find that are really great groups will have at least one day a week where you're allowed to share. Now, they might say share your Facebook page. They might say share your group link, or they might say, what are you working on? Share whatever you have to offer. And you could put any link in, but it does work, and I use it all the time.
I love that. Karina hates getting her credit card, so she loves having PayPal. I know, we all do, Karina. We are our own customers, right? We don't want to get out of bed and get our credit card. I can't tell you how many things I've bought in the middle of the night with that little PayPal button. If it worked seamlessly, it would be one thing. It doesn't work seamlessly yet. But I'm hoping that maybe the plugin or the add-on will get a little more love. I'm going to send a message to the creator and see if he has some thoughts on that.
Karina's asking, was taking PayPal worth the extra effort?
That's to be determined.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
And Maria Jones is saying, for me, was FOMO, fear missing out, as I'm still on holiday and was on holiday during when we had the sale. So Maria, thanks for purchasing it. And it's interesting because it's so true. We're, besides the PayPal human nature buying at midnight, like Mia said, like also we all need that extra push. Like so many times I won't buy something until like the last hour of the deadline, right? And if they didn't have it, I probably wouldn't buy it. And even though I know it would be good for me or whatever, it's just human psychology, persuasive selling. Sometimes you need. Maria's saying, or create relevant posts to your topic with a call to action at the end and see that in other groups. Sneaky.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic for discussion. And I know Sally's got a whole course on it, but yeah, the whole funnel, like a marketing funnel that you have using Facebook for free, using your Facebook profile, your Facebook business page, and linking to things is cool. So I think I'd like to talk about the five mistakes as well. We addressed it, and I think this can spur other questions because I don't see other new questions that have come in from you all. But I want to stress one thing, and I think, Ashley, if you could talk to this before I talk about the five mistakes. In our own customer journey determination, which we walked you through in the whole high ticket toolkit thing, which we renamed, 0 to 1 million roadmap. One of the things that I know, Ashley, you're a big proponent of is always increase your pricing or try maybe like a different way to sell your thing for a higher price. So where do you think we're going to go with this 1995 high ticket toolkit or this little masterclass? So that's a good strategy for anyone watching right now.
What do you mean? Where do we take it from here?
Yeah, like I hope I didn't catch you off guard, but I know you're always proponent. Like in our last client call, you're like, I was saying, oh yeah, do a beta test for $4.97 of this group coaching from your one-on-one to stop your one-on-one time and scale yourself. And you're like, heck no, make it $9.97. So I know you're always about that. So do you think like when you already have a list, like a buyer's list from your micro offer or your SLO funnel, do you think it's a good idea sometimes to test stuff before? Now, maybe this could be sold for $2.97. Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, so it's a mindset thing too, and knowing what your content is worth and what you should be selling it for. A lot of clients that I work with will price things lower their first round just to kind of flush out some of the kinks and then raise the price. For this, we had talked about, I'm trying to remember what we had even talked about, and it was the product. It was a next step in our customer journey that we were going to sell for $97. I was like, no, we should be selling that for $397 just because of the value associated with the course.
Yeah.
And Maria, we had talked about, wanting to make it affordable for everybody and wanting to be able to, have more sales at the 97 than at the 397, which in some cases I agree, like take $200 off your $1,800 offer or whatever that is so that you can have a few more sales in the door. But in this case, I think it's really when you're anywhere between 97 and 397, if you're looking at those two prices, I would always recommend going on the higher end of 397, because if you're constantly selling a $97, 8-week course that would take someone forever to go through, you're going to be really building your buyer's list full of people that aren't able to purchase your higher ticket offers. Of course, if you're not planning on ever selling an $1,800 course and you want to live on the $97 offers, go for it. That'll always work for you. But in our case, we are looking at some point to angle them into a higher price product. So we want to make sure that we're angling them in a way to be prepared for something that's, more than $100.
Yeah. And the cool thing too is like when we offer something lower right now, like this little test of this masterclass for $20, we're collecting so many testimonials to then when we want to sell it for $397 or $297, we have now a whole bank of testimonials, which is what you wouldn't have got if you went right out of the gate something new at $297 or $397. So
very true.
Yeah. I think we also have to look at where does this fit into our customer journey. Yeah. So I know on the masterclass, we talked about where we might slot this into our customer journey. I think it makes the most sense after you have built your micro offer. So it could either fit after our piggy bank funnel live. So if people are choosing not to step up, or even if they choose to step up into our membership, it makes sense for them to also get the 0 to 1 million roadmap, because that's the next step for them.
Yeah.
Also too, if you've completed our micro offer magic course, that is also a next step for you. So if you're not ready to step up into Piggy Bank Funnel Live, the high ticket toolkit will make sense. So just looking at where from our own customer journey standpoint, where does it make sense for that to fit into it? It could fit into two different spots. So
I like what Ginger said. It also felt like a nurture product. Is there such a thing? That's actually really cool. You created a new thing, or Ashley said definitely. Yeah, it's cool. I think what's interesting is a customer emotion stays in motion. We've always said that, and that's why we believe so strongly in the micro offer magic and having low ticket offers or SLO offers. Everyone calls it different. That's what we're calling it. Can everyone comment right now who, I know some people might be listening to this recording as a podcast episode, but if you're watching live or on a replay of Facebook, is this giving value to you? Because we really are spilling the beans on how we're growing our company to $1 million and more. And, you know, we just want to know if this is valuable, like just say yes or no. Yes, it's valuable. No, it's not. But because we're just being raw and true about, we're all strategizing and still talking about things, because pricing is always an art rather than a science. And so while we're waiting for some answers, you know, I think I'll just outline some of the mistakes, and if we want to talk more about that or end this particular podcast soon. But the 5 big mistakes that were made, and we're highlighting this because you don't have to be perfect to just get something out the door. Not everything's going to be perfect. And also you won't learn until you actually kind of get eyeballs on your offer to see if something's resonating or not. Right. And I like, so basically, first mistake, named it wrong. I want to address that again, but named it wrong. And 0 to 1 million roadmap is such a better name for it, because it's talking about value stacking, position yourself, customer nurture. Yeah. And so the second mistake, let's see here. Oh, we didn't have a true video sales letter on the page. This is more for cold traffic. We didn't have a typical Frank Kern 1, here's what I got. 2, here's what it'll do for you. 3, here's how to get it. Because I think some of our people resonate with videos. Yet to be determined, would be a split test. Ashley would have to split test that with John. 3, we were lazy on social media. Crazy story, but true. We weren't as active on social media about this masterclass. So, and I keep saying mistakes because, again, our conversions to cold traffic weren't as high as we expected, because I thought it really is a $500 deal for $20. We're like, are you kidding me? How come you haven't bought it? Right? That was our reaction. Like, because even Ginger said 1/10 of the thing that Mia created was worth $500, you know? So 4, no great offer stack images. Like Mira, Ashley, you can talk to this. Like, one of the key success factors, I think, in a sales page is having good graphics, right?
Yeah. We didn't have the content yet to make the graphic. That was the problem. We were still making all of the content, literally all the way up until Maria, you and I went live. Like, I think I my hair and jumped on the live. So yeah, we obviously need to do some work on the sales page, but we were selling it to our mostly warm audience, which is our email list. And so because of that, you actually get a little more grace on the sales page, because they already know that you provide value and they know what to expect. So if you were selling to a cold audience, yes, you have to make sure your graphics are on point, that your pain points are there, that your like vision is there, all of that, like storytelling, the benefits, the value, blah, 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 blah. You really have to have all of that for a cold audience. But for a warm audience who already knows you and has bought from you in the past, you get a little bit more grace in that area.
Yeah.
Which is the benefit of building a buyer's list.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it's the benefit of then, Ashley, can you just give like a 2-minute overview of the warm wash cycle? You always recommend this to anyone starting out with you for ads.
Yeah. So when I always recommend to clients or to you guys, to anyone launching an SLO or launching any type of funnel, to wash it through, I say rinse it through your warm cycle, which is just putting it through your warm audience. So promoting it to your email list, to your Instagram, to your Facebook, running it through the people that know you best, at selling it to them, not just even just giving it to them, selling it to them, getting in some money to be able to use to sell it to cold also. So there's 2 benefits. 1, you're going to be getting testimonials from your warm audience. You know that they're going to buy from you. And then 2, you're also going to be getting testimonials from them so that you can, when you're selling it to cold, you have the background and some clout there for your cold audiences. The benefit there is that you're also building up ad spend. So the people that are buying it from you organically, that is money that'll just be able to go towards the cold promotion. So putting it through exactly. So warm wash is literally just throwing it through your warmest audiences and seeing how they convert to it, getting some initial performance metrics for numbers, and how's the sales page doing? How's, working out any of the kinks before you're going to a truly cold audience.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we've had a number of our peeps in our group actually do that and make sales before they didn't run any ads. So it does work, not just for us, but other people in our group have done that before they did their ads.
Maria Jones, she posted in our group, should I launch this before I go on vacation? And I said, no, don't do that. Because if you don't have good internet access, then you'll be stressed about it. And then she, the next morning, said, oh, I didn't take your advice. I launched it and I already got sales. And I'm like, oh, okay. But she launched it to her group or her list or whatever. And so that was just money in her pocket.
That's awesome.
So yeah, the warm wash, it just gets you money in your pocket, which is great.
Oh, and look at Ginger says, my list just said 100 peeps from a few more opt-ins this morning. That's just a side note. This stuff really works.
Amazing, Ginger. I also saw you have sales, Ginger. I just popped into your account yesterday and the day before. There was some sales. Exciting.
Yay. And I love what John said. I really like this group. I started with free micro offer challenge. Wasn't ready for upgrade at the time. Went for $20 offer. What a deal. Is there a mind map or list of some sort that shows the process or journey through your products?
There sure is. It's called the 0 to 1 million roadmap.
Yeah.
Through it.
But I think that's what you bought, John, isn't it? Maybe you just haven't been into the 0 to 1 million roadmap and the section where we go through that. Maybe it'd be cool just to have that one PDF somewhere.
No, I think he went through the micro offer challenge a few months ago.
Okay.
I went for the $20 offer. So that's the high ticket toolkit. Is that what that is?
Oh, then he needs to watch the masterclass.
Is there a mind map or list, some sort that shows the process inside of the masterclass? If you haven't watched it, John, watch the masterclass, because we go over our customer journey with the mind map.
Awesome. So I'm going to go into the fifth mistake, and then we'll wait back for John, your answer, and because that's really cool to know, is that, and I'm sure there's more mistakes, but it's just that we didn't have a sneak peek video either on the page, especially for cold traffic. It's so effective to help increase conversions if you do like a 2-minute sneak peek of what's in the course. And again, since we didn't really have the course fully ready, I just had to take one of Mia's videos and I took sections from it to give a sneak peek. And to cold traffic, it worked, but weird enough, to warm from the email list, because we use UTM parameters to know what sales came from our email lists, the broadcasts that go out. What was really surprising is that the conversions were lower with that sneak peek video on there. So I don't know if we scared you with showing you all the Excel sheets or Google Sheets to our warm audience, but it was really strange. But anyway, typically, and Ginger, who's on this call, knows how to stay positive, stay persistent, and just keep testing and tweaking your funnel till you get it converting. Because I'd say of anyone who's in our group right now, Ginger's probably tested and tweaked the most. Would you all say in the last like 2 weeks?
Yeah. But that just goes to show you, like, not everything. I would almost argue to say most things do not convert right out of the gate. You have to tweak and test. And I think that's a common misconception with these funnels, with the one funnel away challenge, with the like funnel, gorgeous funnels that you can buy. Like all of these people who are touting funnels, yes, we believe that funnels will make you the income and profit that you're looking for. And it takes a lot of work and energy to get to a funnel that converts like a well-oiled machine. So most people quit before they get to that point. So Ginger is really, her persistence is a beautiful thing to watch, because she knows it's going to work. She knows that once we find the right combination, it will just get better and better. She's invested, she's willing to learn, and she's willing to do the research and do the work. And that's what it takes to make this dream come true of passive income. You will get to a point where there is passive income. It's just might not be within the first couple months or even the first 6 months.
Very cool. I think that's a wrap. I think that was like, I think that was the best way to end it, because really, just to reiterate what Mia said, like you just got to be persistent and keep testing and tweaking. And we all know, and probably raise your hand if you've done this, you may have walked away from $1 million funnel because you didn't stick with it long enough. You know, like, please don't give up on something after only 1 week or 3 days of running traffic to something, because you could be so close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Aw. Thanks, Dara, for saying that. Mia, you must have given some golden wisdom. Dara saying, sharing it and saying to listen at this point. So awesome. Awesome. All right. Any other last words, or this is our last, the finish of this podcast. And then next week, we're going to have something spectacular for you. We don't know yet what it is, but
Oh, I'm going to add in mistake number 6. Can we throw in a mistake number 6?
Go for it.
So our intention was to invite everybody after we delivered the masterclass. Our intention was to invite everybody into, like, what was the next step for you? And we just ran out of time and we didn't get the opportunity to do that. So I think, had we been in that, like, this is 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Had we decided that we weren't ready to make that invitation, we shouldn't do the masterclass, we never would have done the masterclass. Like, it still would be an idea on our shelf. So we did it anyway. And we just said, you know, to heck with it. We'll make this invitation when we're ready. But if we had been a little bit more on the ball, we could have really warmed people up for what was the next step to come, but we just weren't quite ready for that.
Yeah. And I loved the response of that, Mia, because I think you said, I was honest, hey, like, I'm just too stressed about this, you know, and it's like, hey, if it doesn't feel right, then let's wait, you know, and that's,
business should be fun. It should not be stressful. And so that's another insightful thing for you guys is what it came down to was that we had a sales page, but we didn't love it. And so all the things, the trappings were hooked up on the back end. People could have purchased if we wanted to, but we didn't love the way the sales page looked or sold it. It wasn't our brand anymore, you know, that sort of stuff. So we were stressed out on the day of the masterclass of trying to get it done. And Maria voxed and said, hey, what do you think about just not doing it this weekend? Because I'm really stressed out. And so my response to her was like, let's shelf it.
Yeah.
Business should be fun. This should feel fun. If it doesn't feel fun, it's not worth doing, and we're not going to make sales anyway. So if you're stressed out, if you're not having fun, if you're like, I just need to do this to make money, you're entering into it with the wrong energy, and it's not going to go well for you anyway. So if it's not the season for you, and I follow somebody who talks about, like, as women, we have cycles. And so there are certain times of our cycle where we should be on fire and selling, and then certain times of our cycle where we're underwater and we should be resting. So if it's not your fire right now to be selling, then don't. You know when it is.
Yeah.
So look out for that, whatever that is, that next step. It may come this weekend and it may not. I don't know. But when we're ready,
it will. That's cute. Yeah. So everyone, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. When we're ready, it'll come. Open your emails.
But yeah, it'll be super valuable to you. But yeah, it's just so funny because it also reflects our brand too. And I wanted, in this case, because we talked about the 5 mistakes of this one, and then I didn't want to move forward with, okay, we still don't have really good power graphics for this other one. And I just know it's so powerful. Actually, the real reason is I know it's going to help you all so much that if we don't do our job to present it to you in the best manner so that you do invest in it and then you will grow your tribe, your audience, get more sales from it, then, you know, I feel we've done a disservice to you as well. So that's what hopefully why you're watching all of us and following us and participating and being part of our tribe is because we try to also deal with that energy as well and just be real about it. It's not about, oh my God, I'm going to make $1 million and come hell or high water and then you sacrifice balance, you know, family, because who wants that? I don't know about any of you, but it's, of course we all want money, but we also don't want to what sacrifice. So
yeah. Agreed. 100%. All right. On that note, we are going to leave you guys. Stay tuned every Tuesday for our podcast vlog, whatever we're calling this. I Am Possible TV. And you can also tune in every Friday for Fun Funnel Friday.